Interest in Rhodesia usually has to do with its military history, specifically its tactics, its equipment, and its uniforms. The Bush War in general. Bring up Rhodesia, and if someone knows what you're talking about, the first thing that comes to mind is short shorts, brushstroke camo shirts with rolled up sleeves, and FAL spray painted green. Those who have really dived into the Bush War, and haven't just given Clem Thollet songs a listen, will also be reminded of Fire Force, a quick response strategy that proved essential in the Rhodesian Security Force's counterinsurgency. But we're not here to talk about that. Instead, we're going to talk a little about the famous Rhodesian camouflage, a pattern both pleasing to the eye and effective in what it's supposed to do. And according to the US Marine Corps, it is one of the 3 best camouflage patterns, right next to Tiger Stripe and the not so aesthetically pleasing but effective CAD-PAT or Canadian pattern. So, where did the pattern come from? Well, if you've ever seen British paratroopers during World War II and some of the conflicts that immediately followed it, you might notice that they sported a similar pattern. These brushstroke denison smocks are the grandfather of Rhodesian brushstroke. Anyway, the Rhodesians in the Special Air Service were introduced to this pattern specifically in Malaya. After that business was over and done with, the Rhodesian military continued using British surplus, and the smocks worked relatively fine for operations in Africa. Here, for example, we can see a Rhodesian wearing one of the smocks out in the bush. Note that the lad next to him isn't wearing camouflage at all. This is because before UDI, the Rhodesian military just wore a basic khaki uniform. After UDI, though, and once things got hot, there was clearly a need for a change in wardrobe. So, inspired by the British brushstroke, the first pattern of Rhodesian brushstroke was designed and put into use from 1965 to 1969. Then, in 1970, the second pattern was finished and was more consistent when it came to coloration and printing. So, why'd I make this video? Because I have my own Rhodesian original, so I figured why not throw something relevant together, that way I can have an excuse to show it off. Banter aside, a quick update on things. I'm still reading, I'm still working, and in a couple months here I will properly begin the Rhodesian video series, so stay tuned.